Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Metal Inside Me. I'm your host, Connor, and I'm here today with nobody because Chris is not here today with me. As we told you before, some podcasts it's going to be both of us. Some there's going to be me solo, some it's going to be Chris solo. Me and Chris don't live in the same town, so it's really hard to get together all the time to do these podcasts. We plan on doing podcasts together whenever we are together. And so a lot of times you're going to get it with just being me. So bear with me through this episode because this is my first time ever recording a podcast alone. It's probably going to be weird. Hopefully it's funny. And we're just here for a silly time. Now, I'm just making a guess here. When Chris is going to do episodes alone, he's probably going to be pretty serious. You know, he might really break down the analytics of a song and all the percussion beats on it and give you some very deep philosophical meaning behind this song. Yeah, when I'm doing these podcasts by myself, it's probably just going to be really weird and silly. And so we got a lot of stuff I want to talk about today. One thing is I've been on a huge music nostalgia trip. Now, I think you guys probably feel the same about this, but you have certain songs that you listen to that bring you back to a period of time. I'm someone who's notorious for listening to a song repeatedly over and over, and maybe a group of songs over and over for a period of a month, however long it is. And then I take a break for them because I get worn out on them. And then when I go back and listen to them, it's just like it brings me back to whatever I was doing during that time, wherever I was. Oh, yep, got a freaking notification on my phone and didn't mean for that to happen. But, that's why you guys are here. This is raw. This is real, I'm going to get random text during this, but I just turned off my notification, so we should be all right from here on out. Sorry about that. So the nostalgia trip. Yeah, and then listening to certain songs brings you back to a period of time. Now, I have some certain songs that bring me back to the period of time when I was first listening to metal. And I realized I hadn't listened to those songs in like over a year or so. And this week I've been re-listening to them, and I just absolutely love it. It brings me back to that period of time when metal was new. It was this whole world of music that I didn't even know really existed before, and it's just like such that I cherish that time so much. Now, one of the songs that I'm gonna play a clip for you here. It is "Facade" by Disturbed. A lot of you guys know this song. Now, this song was one of the ones very early on I was very obsessed with. There is a riff in the song that is absolutely incredible. I'm going to start there. And, oh, man, I'm just going to play a clip from this, and it's gonna get me freaking fired up to do the rest of this podcast, because we got some good stuff to talk about. Here we go. Yes, right there! For how long will you deny? How long until you walk away? Your facade can't disguise the fact that you're in misery. Oh, guys, that right there, that gets me so amped. Playing the beginning of this song, so where I would play the song and what period of time it brings me back to. I listened to it a lot right when I was walking into the gym. I had just taken quite a bit of pre-workout, so the caffeine is just hitting me. I'm just like feeling so good, and then I'm walking down into the gym, and this song starts. Guys, there is nothing better than listening to some freaking good metal when you're feeling great like that. Sorry for yelling during that. I've been working on my metal yell. It's not that great, but it does take quite a bit of practice to be able to start yelling from your diaphragm and not using your vocal cords. Now that I've got a microphone and I've been podcasting, I am thinking about doing some metal vocal covers, and if you guys are listening to this, I'll definitely be sending links for that. It's not going to be that great. If you guys are good at metal singing and have tips for me, please share them with me. I would appreciate that. And yeah, so Disturbed was one of the bands that I was diving into quite a bit. Same with let's see, pretty much it was only Slipknot, Avenged Sevenfold, System of a Down, some Tool, and Disturbed. Those were my gateway drugs to metal. Those were bands that I was listening to a lot that first year. I'd listen to some other songs here and there, but those were my predominant bands that I was getting into. And I kind of want to just talk about some other bands that I guess did like a deep dive into. See, I listen to a lot of metal. I kind of keep a list of all the bands that I've been keeping track of and looking for new music that they're bringing out, and the list is like over 100. But some of the bands I'm about to talk about are bands that I actually really got into, listened to a lot of their catalog, if not all of their catalog. And yeah, so Disturbed, obviously, fantastic. They've been coming out with new stuff that I'm not so much into, but I really like Indestructible. That's probably my favorite Disturbed album. I've talked your ear off about Slipknot, so we're going to skip them. You guys know I like Slipknot. Avenged Sevenfold, they are probably the second metal band that I listen to where I, did the full dive into them and listened to every single one of their songs. And that was also in preparation for me seeing them live in concert, which was my first metal show. Me and Chris will do a full story about that sometime. The lineup was Volbeat, Avenged Sevenfold, and Metallica. I don't know how you could have a better first metal concert than that. System of a Down. Chris showed me System of a Down before I even really liked metal. At this point, I was liking a few Slipknot songs, and he decided to show me System of a Down because why not? Who doesn't like System of a Down? I'm not going to talk any bit more about them because as right now because I'm going to talk about them later in the podcast because we have a new segment that I'm going to start bringing up in the podcast. I'll talk to you guys about that in a little bit. Some other good bands that I really got into: Metallica, Stone Sour, of course, because I really, really like Corey Taylor. Oh, me and Chris have a hilarious story of the Stone Sour concert, and we will get into that another time when me and him are together. Then more recently, I say more recently, this is still like 2 years ago, Thy Art is Murder, Ghost, Whitechapel, of course, Five Finger Death Punch. I freaking bought some cargo shorts and a fedora ready when I was listening to them. And some honorable mentions of bands that I've done, a decent deep dive into would be Architects, Killswitch Engage, Bad Wolves, Avatar. And honestly, over the last, I want to say year or so, I haven't found a new band just to get completely obsessed with. And that's where you guys come in. I'm craving that right now. If you guys have any good suggestions of bands that, they've got a lot of stuff out there that I should sit down, listen to their whole catalog, watch interviews about the guys in the band are interesting, all that kind of stuff. If you have suggestions, hit me up with it because I'm really looking for a band to get into. So tweet us at Metal Inside Me, same on Instagram, you know the deal. And yeah, so something else that I want to talk about, which you guys probably aren't expecting, is the Lumineers. You're like, what? This is a metal podcast. Why would you bring up the freaking folk band, the Lumineers? Well, it is because metal is what actually got me into them. So they are one of my favorite bands. Not my top 5, but I really, really enjoy them. And I really, really, really like them after their last album, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. So the reason metal got me into them, getting so into metal, has really made me appreciate other genres of music. It's made me appreciate when artists actually put time and effort into their lyrics. They put time and effort into creating art with their instruments and pretty much all of that. And when I first listened to the Lumineers, their first album, it's very raw in a way. I don't think they have any drums in their first album. Lead singer is an amazing vocalist, and it really just made me like, wow, this is good quality art. This is good quality music. I think a lot of metalheads would like the Lumineers because, I mean, it's pretty much it's beautiful singing. It's very good instruments. It's soft, It's not hard and aggressive. But all of our favorite metal bands pretty much play soft songs here and there. You have Snuff by Slipknot, Song Number 3 by Stone Sour, Through Glass, of course, by Stone Sour. Metallica has a couple, pretty softer songs out there. Um, I can't think of them off the top of my head. You guys can roast me in the comments for not remembering that right now. Who else? Avenged Sevenfold has some. What is it? Dear God and Acid Rain or Saint James maybe, and of course, Far From Home. No, So Far Away. Again, roast me in the comments for not remembering these off the top of my head. But anyway, so all of our metal bands have, soft and sweet sounding music. And so I think you guys would really like something like the Lumineers. Now, I liked them at first, oh wow, this is good quality music, this is good quality art. And then they dropped their latest album, which is called Roman numeral 3, or it's just the Roman numeral 3. Now, of course, when they announced that that's what their album's going to be called, I had to roast my friends who really, really like the Lumineers. And then I started, because it's their third album, and they're like, they named it 3. And I was like, that's so uncreative. And so I was going into it, I was like, okay, this is probably not going to be a super artistic album and stuff. And then I was thinking for a second, I was like, wait a minute. My favorite band, Slipknot, what did they call their albums? First one, self-titled, excluding Mate Feed, Kill, Repeat. So the first one was self-titled, okay, very typical. Next one, Iowa. It's where all of them are from. Okay, still not super creative yet. Number 3, Volume 3. Oh, doing the same thing the Lumineers are doing. Okay. Third one, All Hope Is Gone, which is just a very general metal statement. Yeah, there's no hope left. All hope is gone. Fifth one, we have The Gray Chapter, which is all about Paul Gray. Again, I mean, it's not like something crazy creative. I mean, it's about Paul Gray, and it's called The Gray Chapter. Well, 0.5 The Gray Chapter. And don't get that confused with 0.5, because it is only 0.5 The Gray Chapter. What else? Okay, and then we Are Not Your Kind. I will actually give it to him. That is in my opinion, that's my favorite album name for all the Slipknot albums. Again, I think I've said this in a previous podcast. It is such a anthem to Slipknot. It's a anthem to all metalheads out there. They're saying, we Slipknot, we are not your kind. We don't care about what mainstream thinks about us. We are our own people. We are unique. We are in this niche of music, and it's just like a rally to the troops. And okay, so back to the Lumineers. They released this album. Now, first off, they released it in a very unique way. I think there's 10 songs. They released it in 3 parts. 3 songs, and 4 songs. And so they released it over a period of time. And then when the album was released, they released the last bit of it. And each part tells a story about different members of a family. And there's a music video for every single song on the album. And these are not just like, willy-nilly, whatever music videos. Okay, so you first listen when the first 3 songs dropped. I listened to them. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. This is quality music. It's just like the Lumineers, nothing too special. They're happy songs. And then I pulled up the music videos. Holy crap. It takes a song that you would think is happy and turns it into a soul-crushing, depressing, very realistic story. And I'm not going to tell you guys exactly everything that's happening. I encourage you to go watch them yourselves. It is, and they are shot super well. And it is exactly what me and Chris were talking about. I think it was last episode, where a music videos are meant to elevate the music. Guys, it brings the music to a completely new level of artisticness, or whatever you want to call it. In every single music video, I mean, they're soul crushing. They are very depressing, and so it does remind me of something like Snuff, where in that example, yes, the music video, it elevates the music to a new level. I just really think that this last album by the Lumineers was very artistic. I think a lot of you guys out there would really appreciate it. And especially, also, I think the way, since it's talking about such depressing stuff, it really is kind of metal in a sense. It's talking about real stuff. The lyrics are very meaningful, and it is about, dark, very dark subjects, and I encourage you guys to go listen to it. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, yes. I was going to talk about how when I love it when music videos give me an emotional response, or, listening to a song in general. I love that. Um I just it's something that I really love about music when it can actually emotionally connect with you. And so, some songs that I wrote down that have given me strong emotional reactions before that I want to list is Hickory Creek by Whitechapel. We have Remember Everything by Five Finger Death Punch. And very recently, actually, I think it was just yesterday, Chop Suey by System of a Down. And I told you earlier we're going to talk about System of a Down more. And here we go. I want to start a new segment when I'm doing my solo podcast here where I'm going to break down a song and give you my interpretation of it before I do any research on the song. I don't know if you guys are going to find this interesting. If you hate what I'm about to do, let me know. And as a general thing I want to throw out there, please tweet us if you have anything you want us to do better about the podcast. Me and Chris are very open to suggestions and anything like that. We don't really know what we're doing yet. We're figuring it out. So here we go. I'm about to give you my take on Chop Suey, and then next solo episode, I'm going to do a deep dive into the research about it and give you, I guess, the actual explanation of it. Because someone like me, I typically don't dive super deep into the lyrics of all these songs I listen to. When I do dive deep into these songs that are meaningful, I absolutely love it. I don't know why I don't do it more. I'm not very good at just listening to a song and picking up what it's talking about. And so this is my stab at just reading the lyrics, listening to it for Chop Suey. Now, I have not done any research on it yet, but obviously I have heard, and everybody knows that Chop Suey is about domestic abuse. So during my interpretation of this, I'm picturing, a husband and a wife, and the husband being, abusive towards the wife. And so here we go. Here's the lyrics. We have wake up, grab a brush and put a little makeup, hide the scars to fade away, the shake up. Why'd you leave the keys up on the table? Here you go, create another fable. So my interpretation of this, we have wake up repeated. Wake up, da 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 da, wake up. I think that is talking about how someone who's living in this situation, from the perspective of the wife who's being abused, she's waking up in all of this hell that she's living in. It's just over and over. She wakes up and it's just another day living in hell. And so it's just wake up. You grab a brush and put on a little makeup to hide the scars of the abuse that has been going on. Here you go, create another fable. The wife in this situation is lying to people outside the home, telling them, "Oh, I fell," or whatever's going on. And so as I'm listening to this, the reason this came to mind is because this gave me an emotional reaction. It finally sunk in to me. This is what they were meaning. I'm like, oh wow, that is like it's so real and it's so it is depressing, and you don't really think about that when you just listen to Chop Suey to start because it's a very hype song. It's very it's very metal, and then we have why'd you leave the keys up on the table? You wanted to. I kind of took that as, the husband would say to the wife, being angry and, about to abuse her, saying, "Why'd you leave the keys up on the table?" And she'd be like, "Oh, I forgot." And he's like, "No, you wanted to," making up very, very dumb excuses for the abuse and just being angry for no reason. You picture an alcoholic husband in this situation. Then we have, um, sorry, oh, pulling the lyrics up. Here we go. And then we have the part about, I don't think you trust in my self-righteous suicide. I cry when angels deserve to die. Die. Those are the lyrics there. I kind of took that as, so I don't think you trust in my self-righteous suicide. Self-righteous is like the thinking you're morally higher than everyone else, and thinking you have moral superiority over people. And I'm kind of taking that as the wife is thinking that suicide is justifiable in the hell that she lives in. Uh, that's pretty much what I think. And then I cry when angels deserve to die. I'm not too sure what to make of that. I think the angel could either be the husband or wife. If it's the wife, I kind of take that as not that the wife deserves to die. It's like she has earned death in a way, meaning that death is like a reward for the hell that she lives in. Uh, I'm not too sure. Now, it could be, if it's talking about the husband, it could be that people outside this family think that the husband's a great guy, thinks he's an angel, when in reality, he deserves to die for being such a terrible person. And then we have of course, the Father, 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 into your hands I commend my spirit. Why have you forsaken me? Again, I think the suicide part is probably talking about the wife. Uh, I think it's more like suicide is justified, like from this song, from her perspective, since she lives in this hellish environment. It's like suicide is actually justifiable in her case, and so she's talking to God or whoever in this part, saying, Father, into your hands I'm commending my spirit. That's a quote from the Bible, from Jesus. And she's asking, why have you forsaken me? Meaning, I live in this absolute hell on earth, in this abusive relationship. God, you must be forsaking me right now. And then, she's still saying, I commend my spirit to you through a justifiable suicide. Very dark. That's my take on it. Yeah, and that's why this song gave me an emotional reaction. That's what I was thinking when I listened to it. And now I kind of sat down and read the words and thought about explaining it. And so next episode, I will do an actual deep dive into it and let you guys know what I find. And I'm sure a lot of you probably already know everything about Chop Suey because it is a very, 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 very popular song. But I think this could be fun to kind of go through some songs like this. Let's see. So finally, I've been working on redeeming myself. So I really want to be the guy who, when I see other people with metal t-shirts on, I want to tell them, hey dude, like your shirt. I want to have something to say to like let those other metalheads know, hey, I'm part of the fam too. And notoriously, I think I already told you guys this story on the last episode. When I was walking out of Walmart the other day, or this was a couple months ago, I saw the guy with the Whitechapel shirt on, and I said, hey, Whitechapel, woo! And that was the least metal thing I could have ever said. And I've been working on redeeming myself from that. And so I did. Today, I redeemed myself. I was in the gym, of course, and I saw a guy probably in his mid-50s with a Tool shirt on. And I was like, yes, I'm going to redeem myself. And as he was walking by, I kind of like pointed at his shirt. He took his headphones out. I said, hey, man, like a shirt. He was like, oh, yeah, dude. Bam, we started a conversation about metal. It was awesome. He told me that he had gotten this shirt, I think, when he said Tool had last come to our city, and talked about seeing him. I asked about the show. I told him how I'm really looking forward to seeing Tool. And I told him I've only been a fan for a couple years. And he was like, oh, you're a young pup, huh? And he told me he'd been listening to Tool since '95. And I was like, wow. And, just talk a little bit more, went on our way. And that right there, I think, shows very clearly how, like, metalheads just across the nation, when you find another metalhead, it is just like an instant connection. It's hard to put into words. I think it's because it's such a niche thing that most metalheads, when you're a metalhead, you're very, very into it and very passionate about it. And so when you see someone else who has that same passion about this very specific thing, it's just, an instant bond. And that's why I found whenever I have talked to metalheads that are strangers that I don't know, it's a very pleasant and very nice conversation. And I go to a gym during the week before work, and I've been going there since May, and I've been wearing a Avenged Sevenfold tank top to go work out there. And I've been kind of, baiting people, seeing if anyone's going to say anything about my shirt. Because Chris apparently gets compliments on his metal shirts all the time. And I don't. So I was like, okay, I'll wear this to the gym. Well, I kind of want to see if anyone would say anything. And for the last 4 months, no one has said a single thing. Now, given at this gym, it is a lot of old people. A lot of old people. There are some young people. And finally, I got a comment on it. I met this one guy. We're talking for a second. He was like, "Oh, what's that shirt you wear? It has like," I was like, "Oh, the Avenged Sevenfold shirt." Like, I was ready. I knew someone was finally going to comment on it. He was like, "Yes, dude, I really like them. I used to listen to them all the time in high school." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I just started listening to them a couple years ago." And he was like, "Dude, that's awesome. They need people. They need new fans. All these metal bands need new fans to. They need to constantly be bringing in new people, and that's very true. Like bands like Avenged Sevenfold, they wouldn't have gotten as big as they are if they only would have kept the same fans they had when they were releasing, uh, Sound the Seven Trumpets and all that stuff. And yeah, so you guys are probably wondering what the heck is up with the title of this episode. You're like, it says something about the Illuminati. I don't know what the title is right now because I haven't named it yet. I'll name it after the podcast. But it's going to be something to do with the Illuminati because the Illuminati has approached this podcast to give us their support, which is pretty crazy. And I've got to tell you guys about how I trolled the Illuminati. Now, on our Metal Inside Me Instagram, I get some spam accounts following me and stuff like that. And so I got this message. Here's the following message by an account called Illuminati amhead _of. And that's pretty weird. And I clicked on it. It has a couple thousand followers. And okay, could be a legit account. And so it says, "This is an open invitation for you to become a part of the world's biggest conglomeration to reach the peak of your career. As we begin this year's recruitment program and our annual Feast of Harvest, is almost at hand. Do you agree to be a member of this Illuminati New World Order? DM me on WhatsApp," and then gives their WhatsApp number. And I thought about this for a second. I was like, should I reply or should I just block this number? I decided to reply, and I said, "Absolutely, I do." And then this person replied, "Message me on WhatsApp." Now, I've never had WhatsApp, and so I thought for a second, okay, this is probably obviously someone who's trying to scam people out of money or whatever. And I was like, so I looked into WhatsApp, and apparently you have to share your own phone number, like your own actual phone number shows. And I was like, crap, I don't want this scammer getting my real phone number. They're going to freaking call me all day and night. So I did a little bit of research, found out you can hide your phone number on WhatsApp I got a different free texting app that gave me a randomly assigned number and verified my WhatsApp account with that random number. So I was like, yes, okay. So I get on WhatsApp and I message the Illuminati and I said, "I'm ready." They replied, "Greetings from the great Illuminati. How are you doing? What's your name? Where are you from? And how old are you?" And then I didn't reply for a while, so they sent a lot of question marks after that. And so I was like, okay, it's trolling time. And I said, "Greetings. I am doing well. How are you? My name is Michael Litteris. Everyone calls me Mike, though. I am from Tennessee, and I am 27 years old." Now, if you guys didn't catch that, I said my name was Michael Litteris. But everyone calls me Mike. Mike Litteris. Mike Litteris. And, and so they replied, "Okay, nice. I'm Master John." Hold up. Yes, they called themselves Master. I was like, I'm going to have fun with this. They replied, "Nice to meet you, Mike. Why do you want to become a member of the Illuminati? What's your greatest dream?" I said, "Well, I'd like to join because I don't have many friends, and this seems like a great way to meet people. My greatest dream is that I desire the power requisite to make life meaningful, to be a cog in the true machinery of the world." They said, "That's a noble dream, Mike. The more money a person owns, the more ability they have to positively change those who are in need. If you are poor and good of heart and your friend's house burns down, you can't do anything about it. Now I'm going to paraphrase some of their messages because they send some very long messages that they definitely copy and pasted. Basically, they said, if you're rich, you can positively influence people's lives. And then they said, how far have you gone with accomplishing your dream? I said, yeah, money is pretty neat. I've made it to third base with my dreams. They said, okay, good. Everything will be fine. Trust me, okay? Kindly tell me about yourself and your life journey so far. I said, okay, I'll trust you, Master John. I wouldn't call my life a journey per se. It's been more of an expedition, if you know what I mean. And life has its ups and downs, and you just try to ride those highs as long as you can. I'm an accountant, and I really like Breaking Bad. How about yourself? They said, okay, if you become a member of the Illuminati, what do you want the Illuminati to give you? And how do you want the Illuminati to assist you? I said, before I can answer that, I need to know a little bit more about the Illuminati. My understanding is that you guys are basically the adult version of the Girl Scouts. Is this true? Okay, I've got to summarize what they just said here. They send a very long message. They said the Illuminati serves as the captain of the planet and carries the human species through the universe. We are not elected by the people we represent. Our authority requires no approval from any of our constituents. We reside on the planet. Okay, a lot of long stuff. There's financial benefits associated with being in the society. The Illuminati's singular purpose is to make good men better in its bonds of friendship, compassion, brotherly love. All of these things have survived even the most decisive political, military, and religious conflicts throughout the centuries. It keeps going on. It says that the Illuminati is not a religious thing, and it's about moral character, and people who support the tenets of temperance, fortitude, prudence, and justice. And then it says, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And then it questioned the message about how I want the Illuminati to assist me. It said, you have to know that once you become a member of the Illuminati will dedicate all of its resources to help you achieve your goal. Now, at this point, I very clearly realized that this is a scam, that this guy is trying to talk you up in this thing, saying it's going to give you a lot of money. And so this entire time, I'm waiting for them to ask me for information so that they can take money from me, because that's going to be the point of this. And then they say the New World Order will see those chosen members receive the fruits of the group, including money, power, success, recognition, and overall greatness. I said, wow, Master, that's nothing like the adult Girl Scouts. I said, I did a little bit of research alongside the information you provided, Master. I am very interested. However, I need to know what is required of me for membership. From what I read, it seems like there's a lot of sacrificing going on in this club, which I am very open to. I have a 6-year-old German Shepherd named Max, but he is expendable if need be. So you know where my heart is at, Master. I was having such fun trolling this scammer. They said, a form containing the information we need from you will be sent shortly. But before that, there are certain rules and regulations and also the laws and principles of the organization which you must first agree and accept before we proceed. You must first agree to the following rules and regulations stated below. Here are the 6 rules of the Illuminati, if you guys were wondering. You must trust and obey. You are to give the right information about you, especially when they ask about my social security number. Number 3, the materials that will be needed for your initiation ceremony must be provided by yourself. Number 4, do not seek to know too much when you are not yet a member. Number 5, do not speak to any soul about this without my permission. And then he said, lastly, you are to help your fellow Illuminati members when he/she needs help. Now, here are some very long messages about the 4 laws of the Illuminati. I'm not going to go into great detail. Basically, these are very general statements, probably taken from motivational books. Or maybe they just made it up. They're really weird, too. Law number 1 is never outshine the master. Law number 2 is Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. They basically say friends will backstab you, but enemies will be more loyal to you because they have something to prove to you. That doesn't make any sense. Number 3, conceal your intentions. It's like keep people off balance. They won't know what you're up to if you conceal your intentions. And number 4, always say less than necessary. Because when you're trying to impress people, if you say more things, sound stupid. And this guy continually will just message me if I don't respond too quickly. And I guess I waited too long to respond to this one. And it said, awaiting your immediate response. I replied, those are very wise words. However, I'm a little confused. Are you my friend or my enemy? Because first off, he told me never trust friends. And if he's my enemy, then he's my enemy. He said, I'm your friend, okay? I'm here to help you. And this guy kept ending most of his messages in the word okay. First off, it sounds like he's getting annoyed with me because I'm not giving my information and I'm not agreeing to everything he's saying immediately. And it sounds like he's just like, I'm your friend, okay? Please just trust me, okay? Everything's going to be fine, okay? And he said, I'm here to help you. I replied, so he said, I'm your friend. Because I asked him if we're friends or enemies. I asked, will we ever be more than just friends? He replied, yeah. And then he questioned the message, do you understand? Then tried to call me, and then awaiting your immediate response. So he just told me we're going to be more than friends. I replied, because I still haven't answered one of his questions. He asked what the Illuminati, do I agree to the rules, and what do I want from the Illuminati, okay? So I need to answer those in this message. So first, talking about the friendship, I said, wow, Master John, what a load to deliver if you and I become more than friends. As for the Illuminati rules and laws, the rules make sense, and and the laws have no logical flaws whatsoever. They're not extremely general statements pulled from random motivational books. I can wholeheartedly agree to these. As for what I need from the Illuminati, as I stated before, Breaking Bad is a very huge part of my life. So when he asked me to tell him about myself, literally all I said was, I'm an accountant and I really like Breaking Bad. Obviously, all this information I gave him was false. I'm not an accountant. And, well, I do really like Breaking Bad. It's a really good show. But I said, okay, as for what I need from the Illuminati, as I stated before, Breaking Bad is a very huge part of my life. I'm on my 8th time rewatching the show. I need loads of money, Master. Why? Because I need to hire Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul, and Vince Gilligan to make a prequel show Breaking Bad. It will be called Breaking the Rules, in parentheses, still working on the title. It will take place when Jesse's in high school in Walt's chemistry class. It will be a well-shot high school drama. It will pick up wherever Better Call Saul ends, and it will run up to the point Breaking Bad begins. Who's the main character, you're obviously wondering? Easy. Skinny Pete. It will focus on his romantic life in high school. What do you think? He replied, money is no problem once you become a member of the Illuminati, okay? Now that okay at the end of this message just made what he said sound so, desperate. He goes, money is not a problem once you become a member of the Illuminati, okay? There are financial benefits with the Illuminati Association, but the brighter side of it is all the opportunities and connections it will expose you to. All the Illuminati wants from you is your loyalty, okay? And I said, what do you think of my idea for the show? He replied, because I wanted him to comment on this, okay? He just kept saying general statements, and I'm like, no, you comment on this terrible idea. He replied, he replied to the message and said, that's not a problem. It's a nice idea. It's a nice idea. Once you become a member of the Illuminati, you will be fully supported. I replied, wow, I just pitched the idea of the century, and you just told me it was nice. Just nice. I asked about sacrifices before. Is my dog Max going to be okay? Or will he be a casualty of the New World Order? He replied, your dog's going to be okay. You don't have to sacrifice anyone, okay? Whenever he ends these messages with okay, I'm going to say them like that. You don't have to sacrifice anyone, okay? Your dog's going to be okay. And I said, why do you end most of your messages in okay? Sounds very insecure when reading over text. He replied, okay. Then he said, can we proceed? I said, what are the next steps? He replied, our registration form will be sent to you to ensure you fill it out correctly and send it back, okay? Oh, I forgot to read it like that. Our registration form will be sent to you to ensure you fill it out correctly and send it back, okay? And then, first off, didn't send me a form. He's sending this over text. It just says name ... So I fill it out by texting it back to him. It says, this is what they want from me. This is when it put the nail in the coffin that this is a scam just trying to get money from me. Name, country, age. These are the things they need. Name, country, age, sex, kinky, occupation, telephone, hobbies, your monthly salary. How much with you now? First off, what does that mean? If you're sitting there filling out a form and the question is, how much with you now? A working email, a picture of you, a photo of your ID card. Okay, this guy is so... This is obviously someone from another country asking for things. Why not say driver's license? Why not say social security card? No, a photo of your ID card, your father's name, mother's name, reasons, 2 spaces, to join Illuminati. So, first off, this thing is riddled with random errors and random times that he just hits enter into the next message. So, reasons, 2 spaces, to join Illuminati. And then they need your contributions to Illuminati when you become a member. Kindly complete the above information with the urgency, with a capital U, via this medium of communication for review in the, then hits enter, and then hits probably about 20 spaces. So I'll read it like that, and there's just a random big space in here. Kindly complete the above information with urgency via this medium of communication for review in the, big space, Illuminati Citizen Outreach Department for further membership, procession, and prerequisite. And then a lot of random spaces and enters. An immediate response is expected. A lot of random spaces. Best regards, a lot of random spaces. John, Vice President, Citizen Outreach. And at that point, the conversation ended because I blocked the account on WhatsApp, I reported the account on Instagram for spam, and blocked the account, and I had a lot of fun with that because this podcast here, we very much encourage you to troll scammers because they are very, very annoying and they are doing things that are wrong, trying to take innocent people and steal their money. So the best thing you can do is waste their time. When scammers call you, sit there and have a conversation with them and just have fun making up aliases for yourself. Call yourself Mike. Have your last name be Litterus. Make them say your first and last name back to you. That would be really funny. Just have fun with it, guys. And next episode, I have a riveting story to tell you from the gym. Me and Chris have a lot of gym stories, and a lot of times it has to do with metal, and that's okay. And that's what we're going to do. And so that just about summarizes my first solo episode. I don't know how that went. I really would appreciate feedback. And so tweet me at Metal Inside Me. Hit us up on Instagram. Honestly, just, critique it. We want to give you guys the content that you guys want. Maybe you guys just like it how it is. I don't know. We're just doing this for fun. Me and Chris just love metal, and we just like talking about it. And so that summarizes the first episode. Again, hit us up on social media. Social media is the way, mainly our Instagram and Twitter. That's where you're going to find the links to everything. If we make certain YouTube accounts to put up vocal covers, all of that kind of jazz, that's where you're going to find us, find all that information. If we have a website or something in the future, maybe this thing starts to take off. We might make a website. It's probably going to be bad. Who cares? Maybe you'll want to look at it once every couple months. And that's about it. And yeah, see you guys. And I'm sorry that the last 2 episodes I ended it by saying peace in a really dumb way. I'm going to start ending these episodes by saying rock on. Goodbye.